As far as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's comment on tariffs being justified on countries that still do trade with Russia is concerned, CNN News 18 is bringing you more of the inside understanding of the statement as far as the Indian power corridors are concerned. India believes these are statements to push Western agenda to maintain pressure on its rivals. The interview given by Zelensky aims to indirectly target India's position, even though otherwise he has not really targeted India. Top intelligence sources convey that the aim is to unsettle counterparts and test India's endurance. Similar tactics have been observed in past trade and strategic negotiations as well. Steel tariffs and visa discourse, all of these are issues that show a repeat US method of controlled escalation. Let's break this down further for you. Yes, these are coming even as some thaw maybe is being seen by some as far as India-US relationship is concerned. But how does India see these latest comments made by Zelensky, who has been very friendly with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and overall with India despite the prolonging of this war in Ukraine? The aim, of course, is to unsettle counterparts, test India's endurance, as has been the case throughout the tariff negotiations. We know that similar tactics have been used not just in trade talks, but there are steel issues as well. There are H-1B visa discourse that all show that this is a tactic that Washington is employing currently against New Delhi. And these incidents are being seen as same non-substantive. Negotiators will, of course, take national interest in line as far as these multiple back-channel exchanges and discrete consultations are concerned. They're, of course, going to maintain the line that India has publicly taken, and India is hopeful these could act as a safety valve to break the deadlock without public escalation, which India hasn't opted for so far. The anti-India comments by Peter Navarro, Howard Lutnick, etc. cannot be dismissed as individual outbursts, of course, and same is the line as far as Zelensky is concerned. They're all comments that are in synergy with what the US negotiation tactics are, what is coming right from the White Office currently against India, aimed at applying calibrated psychological pressure as well. But India's message is very clear that their sovereignty over core economic sectors is not going to be compromised. My colleague Siddhant Mishra is also joining us with more on this. Siddhant, not many feathers that this comment by Zelensky is going to ruffle. I think India kind of understands where it's coming from. Ukraine in the past has also asked India to put pressure or use its good offices to put pressure on Russia. US has done the same, and India has often maintained that line that they are for this war to stop. But this latest comment on tariff, tell us more of how the MEA is viewing this.
Well, so far there has not been any response that we have received from the Indian government. But all I want to say here that on one end, President Zelensky, requests Prime Minister Modi to speak about the Ukrainian crisis with President Putin. Perhaps if after America, if after President Trump, any other world leader who is in a position to speak to both European leaders and President Putin, then that leader is Prime Minister Modi. So President Zelensky very well understands Prime Minister Modi and India's unique position. But despite that, he said that such tariffs is a good idea. Perhaps that's what right idea or good idea. That's exactly what he said. I think that this is a hypocrisy of the Ukrainian leadership. That on one end they are banking upon the personal rapport of Prime Minister Modi with President Putin to pass on the message or to speak to him to come to the table for the talk. On the other end, they are encouraging Trump administration to impose more tariffs and economic sanctions on countries like India. Having said that, there is also the other point of view which one should understand. Look, President Zelensky right now is in a very, very tight spot. He knows that there are very few world leaders who can speak to President Putin directly, including the President of the United States, Donald Trump, who he finds now is helping him to get the crisis solved. So he can also not be he also does not want to be the policies of the Trump administration or this tariff issue, because he does not want to be in the bad books of to be the view that why he said that that it's a right idea or a right choice.